Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as you can see here that basically in this lecture we are going to talk about the cashless transactions, plastic cards and the concept of ATM. Okay, this is what we are going to say. We must say that this is not only important from the examination point of view. Okay, just you are just required to learn about them, then you just face your examination, mark the answers and you will pass through it. Not like that. This thing is even important in our day-to-day life. Okay, because this is a little fact that we are connected with. Almost everyone knows about the ATM, debit credit cards, cashless transactions. Like most of the population of country right now, they are using the UPI. Okay, so that all things is not only matters till the examination, but also matters after that. So that's why we are going to talk about the cashless transactions, the concept of plastic cards, and the ATM. And this is going to be the important topic because here we are not only talking about this so that we just pass our examination, but we are also talking about this so that we could be aware of these things in the day-to-day lives. Okay. In this lecture, we will look upon the credit card, debit card, and smart card, etc. Cards that build credit, the credit cards and charge cards. Cards that do not build credit, like the debit cards and the prepaid cards. ATMs in India. Important fact to remember related to the transactions and charges, types of ATMs that we have, and at last, of course, the summary of all of these things. Okay, so now here you can say most of the things are related with our day-to-day atmosphere instead of just merely related with the examination. Okay, and the disclaimer that we are going to have here, and we are required to understand it first before proceeding with the lecture. So a disclaimer is like, the images used in a slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, then please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Okay. Now let's first begin with the credit card, debit card and smart card, etc. We require to understand them first because these all commonly known as the plastic cards. And whenever you look at the plastic cards, you will not be able to differentiate between them, whether it's a credit card or the debit card easily. Okay, you require some kind of knowledge then only you will be able to differentiate it. Then only you will be able to go through it. So broadly, we could say there are many different payment methods out there. Like we could use cash. It means that we will give physical money or we will take physical money. Debit cards. Okay. Debit cards in a broader way is like a card that you must flash in the ATMs so that you could withdraw your money from your account. Credit cards. These are the cards that associated with some limit provided by the bank to the individual, and the person could use that card to make some payments and purchase something, and after a certain period of time the person is required to repay the amount that he had withdrawn. ATM cards comprising the debit and credit and any other much more options like checks are there. Okay, like bills of payment and all. Even nowadays the UPI is very famous. So we could say there are so many options that we have to make the payments. All right. All of these cards are different methods of payment, but some help you build your credit history and others do not. Now, what do you mean by the credit history? It is required to be understood. Whenever you went to the bank for any transaction and for any, you can say kind of loan and all, okay, always the bank will ask you about your credit history. Credit history is like a relationship shows between you and your lender. Suppose you went to some XYZ bank. The XYZ bank will ask you about your history, credit history. And before XYZ bank, if you had taken a loan from ABC bank, then on what terms you had taken the loans, which time you pay the EMI and the dues, and what is your status in clearing the dues and EMIs. That actually builds a confidence amongst the lenders to grant you a loan. The XYZ will find your credit history is in a positive manner, then they will give you a loan easily. But if they will see the difficulty and some malfight in the credit history, then the things will be difficult for you to understand. Okay, so mainly the credit cards are those cards which shows your credit history, because the debit cards are generally the normal cards. You already have 1 lakh rupees in your account and now you are using debit card to withdraw it, which means that money belongs to you. No one has lended it to you. So that will not build your any credit history. But if you are having the credit card of limit 1 lakh rupees and you had withdrawn rupees 80,000 from that, then you are required to repay rupees 80,000 to that particular card after a certain period of time. If you paid it on time, your credit history will be in positive sense. Somehow you couldn't pay it on time, your credit history will be in negative sense. That's it. That's the only thing. Okay. The types of payment cards that could be distinguished on the basis of the features of each type of card. Like what kind of features the card is comprising. Like first, including the credit cards, charge cards, debit cards, prepaid card, ATM card, smart card. Okay. Like credit card, we know it is actually the given bank given statement cards. Okay, from which you could withdraw some money up to certain limit and then you are required to repay. Charge card is basically the card like you use in various aspects and you have to pay some charges and fees. Debit card, I had told you. Prepaid card, what do you mean by this? The prepaid card is like, suppose you have put rupees 10,000 in your card. Now, up to rupees 10,000, you could use it anytime. So this is like a rechargeable card. ATM cards, that could be used in ATMs. Smart card, these are the cards which could be used to withdraw some money, which could be used for traveling, like paying the tickets and all. And the smart cards are generally those cards which could be used in various ways. Okay. So now let's talk about the credit cards. A credit card is basically the card that allows you to make purchases with borrowed money known as credit. Like as I have told you, if you are having the credit card of worth rupees 1 lakh, so you bought a thing of rupees 80,000, which means rupees 80,000 is your borrowed money which you had borrowed from the issuer of the card. If XYZ bank has issued you that card, so there you are required to repay rupees 80,000 to XYZ. Okay, and that is not known as the borrowed money but known as the credit. Okay. As you spend and make purchases on your credit card, you will begin to build up a balance that needs to be repaid at the end of every month. Okay, like how much limit you will spend and how much limit you could withdraw from your credit card. You require to balance it by repaying it at the end of every month. Got it? The more immediate benefits of having a card are extra purchasing power and flexibility. Suppose you having rupees 1 lakh in your bank account, okay, and the thing you are looking for is costing about 1,80,000. So now you are under shortage of 80,000. So your purchasing power is limited only rupees 1 lakh. Your flexibility is only limited to rupees 1 lakh because you could not go beyond the thing of rupees 1 lakh. Then if you used your credit card of worth rupees 1 lakh and you withdraw 80,000, which means previously your purchasing power only rupees 1 lakh. Now it will be your 1,80,000. Your purchasing power upgrades. Even the same your flexibility would be. How? Because now you could look beyond the things of worth rupees 1 lakh. Most businesses accept the credit cards and some services, like including the Uber and car rental agency, only take payments from a credit card. Okay, it's totally differs from organization to organization, companies to companies, and service sector to service sector. Now we have the charge card. Basically, the charge card is a modified version of the credit card. Charge card offers a large, often unlimited credit limits for the cardholders. Okay. The main difference between a charge card and a credit card is that any charges made by a charge card must be paid in full by the end of every month. There is no minimum balance. Like you can say, suppose if you had both the charge card and the credit card, you had withdrawn the same amount. Rupees 80,000 have been withdrawn by you from your charge card, and the same amount have been withdrawn by you from your smart card, or sorry, credit card. Okay. So the credit card amount will be in the short installments. Okay. Like you can say you are required to pay 8,000 in every month up to 10 months. Then up to 10 months, you could pay your amount. But this facility is not available in the charge card. The charge card will require you to pay entire amount, which means in the month end you're required to pay the full amount of 80,000 to that charge card, which in case of credit card you are paying only 8,000 up to 10 months, which means the charge card has no minimum balance, but credit card has. Not paying your full balance on a charge card will result in fees and penalties. Okay. A charge card will build your credit history. However, a strong credit score is typically needed to be approved for a charge card. Alright. Like if you defaulted to pay your payment, then the same will be updated in your credit history. And that will show your credibility as a borrower. Like the lender will check your credit history and then will decide whether to pay it or not. Another one that we have is the debit card. So when you first open a checking account with bank, you will most likely to be asked to deposit money into this account. A debit card and your bank account are directly connected. Like we know, whenever we open the bank account, we are talking about the normal bank account. We are not talking about the no frills account. Okay. So generally, if you have ever opened your account, then they will require you to maintain a minimum balance in your account. In mostly bank in India, it is about 10,000. Okay. 10,000 rupees must be in your saving account in every time. Okay. But in the case of no frills account, this condition is not that much prevalent. No frills account means, like suppose if you are having the no frills account, then you are not required to maintain any minimum balance in your bank account. Okay. But as I had told you, we are not talking about the no frills account. We are talking about the normal account. So you're required to maintain some deposit money into this account. And you will be issued debit card by your bank. So by using the debit card, you could withdraw the deposit money that you had deposited in the bank at any time by using the ATM. So that's why it is written down here. A debit card and your bank account are directly connected. The limit of debit card is totally dependent upon the money that has been deposited in your bank account. For example, if you having rupees 1 lakh in your bank account, your debit card will have the limit of rupees 1 lakh. If only 10,000 rupees in your bank account, then your limit of debit card would be rupees 1 lakh. That is a thing. So using a debit card will automatically deplete your bank account's funds Most debit cards will have a credit networks like Visa or MasterCard logo on them. Okay. Having these credit networks printed on them means that a debit card is accepted as a form of payment in many places. Like Visa and MasterCard logo. These are actually the US based companies and that provides international transaction facility. Okay. Like you can say if you are having the Visa or MasterCard, you are using the ATM of some different country. For example, you are in the Middle East or you can say you are in Dubai. Your account is in India. You require the immediate money. So you could reach the ATM of Dubai. If your debit card is from Visa or MasterCard, then even you could access your money that has been deposited in India when you are in Dubai. So which means it facilitates the international transaction. Despite this, using a debit card will not build your credit history. Why? Because as I have told you, credit history is actually built when you borrowed the money and when you repaid it. But in debit card, you using your money only. You are not borrowing it from anyone. You are not taking it from anyone. That's why it will not reflected in your credit history. On a side note, a debit card could also be used to withdraw or deposit cash from an ATM. There are also cards specifically designed for this purpose called an ATM card. Okay. Debit card is secured by the 4-digit PIN for transactions at retail outlets and at ATMs, and a 6-digit 3D securing password for online transaction makes the card secure from any fraudulent usage. Which means if you want to use your debit card for withdrawing transactions, you require to set a 4-digit PIN. By entering that PIN code only, you could withdraw or deposit your money. Similarly, if you are using your debit card to making the online transactions and you are not making it through any ATM, then the PIN is required for 6 digits. Okay, so that's the difference, remember it. Now we have the prepaid card. A prepaid card can also be bought at department stores. When you purchase a prepaid card, you are loading money into it. Like you can say various malls are there in India where you could get their dedicated prepaid card. For example, suppose if there is any XYZ bank, XYZ mall actually. This XYZ mall is actually providing you a prepaid card. So you could put your money into it. Suppose you had put 50,000 rupees in that prepaid card. So that card you could use while shopping in that particular mall up to spending limit of 50,000. Okay. The more limit you will put in your prepaid card, the more you could use it. So that is the prepaid card concept. After using all of your funds in your prepaid card, you can then reload it with additional money. Which means suppose you went to the XYZ mall with your friend and all, you spend it entire limit of 50,000. Then your limit will be nil. You require to reload it with some additional money limit and then you can reuse it. A prepaid card eliminates the need for carrying cash but does not help build your credit history. Okay, like if you're having the prepaid card, then you are not required to carrying a cash with yourself because you're having the digital money in your card. But again, that card could not build your credit history. Why? Because the money that is infusing in that card, it has been infusing by you only. You are the one who infusing that money into this. You are not borrowing it from anyone. So that's why the relationship between borrower and lender, which is required for the credit history, that could not be fulfilled here. Now we have the cards that do not build credit history. Debit cards and prepaid cards. First is an ATM card. So what do you mean by the ATM cards? ATM card is actually a PIN based card. Okay. Like you can say, if you really want to use it, you require to provide the PIN or password into it. Then only it will get open to use and make the purchases and all. This means that in addition to using it at ATMs, you may also be able to use it to make purchases by entering your personal identification number, or we could call it as a PIN. If the merchant is using it one of the same electronic ATM networks that listed on the back of your card. Okay. Now the key differences between ATM card versus debit card. ATM cards could only be used at ATMs. You could not use it anywhere else. Whereas debit cards could be used anywhere, but they require a deposit. Until or unless you do not having a deposit in your bank account, you could not utilize it, because as we have just seen, this is totally or directly related with your bank account. The more money you have in your bank account, the more you could utilize it. A smart card. A smart card is a security token that has embedded chip. Okay, like you can say, this is the embedded chip. Okay. Smart cards are typically the same size as the driver's license and could be made out of metal or plastic. They connect to a reader either by directly physical contact, also known as chip and dip, or through a short-range wireless connectivity standard such as near field communication, or we could call it as an NFC. The chip on a smart card could be either a microcontroller chip or an embedded memory chip. Remember, either could be a microcontroller chip or an embedded memory chip. It's totally depend upon from cards to cards. Smart cards designed to be tamper resistant and use encryption to provide protection for in-memory information. Okay. Those cards with a microcontroller chip, they have the ability to perform on-card processing functions, could add, delete, and manipulate information in the chip's memory. Okay. So this is one of the necessary informations we require to keep about the smart cards. Now, what is ATMs in India? So basically, if you really want to understand the ATM concept, first we have to talk about this question that you can see here. What is an automated teller machine, or in short ATM? So we could say automated teller machine is actually the computerized machine provides the customer of banks the facility of assessing their account for dispensing the cash, carry out other financial and non-financial transactions without need to actually visit their bank branch. Which means if you having the ATM card, you could withdraw the money, deposit the money from anywhere, not required to visit the bank branch physically. That facility you will get. In ATMs, we having the different type of ATMs. The first is the white label ATMs, or WLS. The ATM set up, owned and operated by the non-banks are called the white label ATMs. Non-bank ATM operators are authorized under the Payment and Settlement System Act 2007 by the Reserve Bank of India. The rationale of allowing non-banking entities to set up white label ATMs, it has been increased to the geographical spread of ATMs for increased enhanced customer service. What type of cards could be used at an ATM WLA? The ATM WLA come debit cards, credit cards, and often prepaid cards that permit cash withdrawal issued by banks can be used at ATMs or WAS for various transactions. Services facilities available at ATMs WLS. In addition to the cash dispensing, ATMs WLS may offer many other services facilities to bank customers, including account information, cash deposits, Acceptance or deposits are not permitted at WLS. Regular bill payments not permitted WLS. Purchase of reload vouchers for mobile not permitted WLS. Mini short statement, pin change or request for checkbook. ATM transaction can be done with customer inserts, sweeps his credit card in the ATM WLA ATM, enters his or her personal identification number, the PIN. PIN is the numeric password which is separately mailed and handed over to the customer bank while issuing the card. Most bank requires the customer to change the PIN on the first use because that is only for the minimum thing. Important facts to remember related to the transaction charges with effect from number 1 2014. A bank must offer to its saving account holders a minimum number of free transactions at ATMs as under transactions at a bank's own ATMs at any location, minimum 5 free transactions in a month. Transaction at any other bank's ATM at metro location. In case of ATMs located in 6 metro locations with Mumbai, New Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore and Hyderabad, 3 minimum transactions in a month. Transaction at any other bank's ATMs at non-metro locations, minimum of 3 transactions in a month. There's an important note. Customer could be charged for transaction at ATMs over and above the mandated number of 3 transactions. Customer could be charged a maximum of rupees 20 per transaction plus service tax if any by his or her bank. The case of a failed ATM transaction at other bank white label ATMs when his her account is debited. Customer should lodge a complaint with the card issuing bank at the earliest. As per the RBI instructions, bank have been mandated to resolve the customer complaint by recrediting the customer's account within 7 working days from the date of complaint. Effective from 1 July 2011, banks have to pay compensation of rupees 100 per day for delays in recrediting the amount beyond 7 working days from the date of receipt of complaint for failed ATM transactions. Customer could take recourse to the banking ombudsman if the grievance is not redressed by his her card issuing bank. Now, the types of ATMs. On-site ATMs. These are the ATMs which are located inside the bank premises. Off-site ATMs. These are the ATMs which are located outside the bank premises such as shopping malls, societies, etc. White label ATMs. ATMs owned and operated by a non-banking financial company, NBFC. Green label ATMs which are installed mainly for transactions related to the agriculture. Orange label ATMs mainly for share transactions. Yellow label ATMs mainly for e-commerce transactions. Pink label ATM mainly for women banking. Then brown label ATM where the machine is not owned by the bank, rather it has been taken it on lease. Okay, here we have finished the topic. Now it's the part for summary. So we have talked about the types of payment cards in which we have discussed credit card and charge card, debit card, prepaid card, ATM card and smart card. Then automated teller machines, we have seen the definition, white label ATMs, card compatibility, ATM services. ATM transactions, we have seen the PIN, banking offers and charges applied behind print transactions. In case of failed ATM transactions, we have seen this case. Types of ATMs, we have seen on-site ATMs, off-site ATM, white label ATMs, green label ATMs, orange label ATMs, yellow label ATMs, pink label ATMs and brown label ATMs. Okay. So students, here we have finished the topic. It is requested to all of you kindly revise the facts and figures that we have discussed in this lecture and keep yourselves ready for the next lecture. With this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.